Hello there and welcome here. So let's jump in already and show you the different technologies, explain to you the learning paths, and show you the structure and the course outline. So this is gonna be interesting. So I've arranged my screen in this format to explain some things, while we speak if I need to. Okay, so this is to walk you through everything so you could pretty much get excited and know where you are headed for from where you at right now. Okay, so with that being said, let's just jump into it. So the first thing, or rather one of the first things we'd want to show you, you would have to learn some command lines. Okay, so for instance, you have to learn some command lines, all right, and we'll show you different code editors and which one to use. Good extensions that you could actually use with whichever code editor that you go with, and stuff like that. And we're gonna show you the next thing from this point. You're gonna get started learning the markup language, the HTML5. All right, that is a hypertext markup language, and getting you introduced to Git and GitHub. Okay, so HTML5, you need that. Actually, the very basic things you need for web development in general, you need HTML, you need CSS, you need JavaScript. Okay, but I just want to lay it down for you so you're gonna know what we're doing, and from there what next are we doing. So I said we're gonna get you one of the very first things, the command line, because you need to know how to write basic commands in your terminal and how to navigate through in your terminal as well. So we're gonna get doing that, and also you're gonna learn about different code editors and extensions in HTML5. So from there you can learn CSS. All right, because with, like, for instance, your HTML actually looks like this. All right, you have different sections, and it just helps create the structure, all right, of your web page. And that's pretty much about that one. But without your CSS is cascading style sheet. Without your CSS, you wouldn't be able to have a very good looking web page. Like, your HTML is just gonna be blunt and not really nice. It's just all markups, right? So you actually need a little bit of styles to actually get things working. So you'd be able to do set colors, the background color, set wonderful animation and pull in effects, and do a lot of things on your web pages. So that's pretty much about that one. So you have the HTML, let's say, just as the structure. Just imagine a building right now. Imagine a building, an uncompleted story building, for instance. There could be a structure, right? There could be your HTML, but when you start painting everywhere and bringing in furniture and doing stuff, painting the place up, bringing in wallpapers, you actually introducing CSS. All right, so HTML just helps you with the structure of the website, but CSS, you can be able to do a whole lot of styles and make things beautiful. All right, so from there you would have to really get into so we'll get you introduced into a lot of HTML and CSS UI components, so you could pretty much get a feels and actually think about how to make things more nice, and make things more interesting and stuff like that. So you get introduced to that, but also something also very important that you need to do is learn Git and GitHub. So this is not like an option, right? Even though it's not an option, guys, you need to learn Git and GitHub. So just before I come back to this right now, when we talk about the why I actually have this guy up here and have this guy up here, for instance, now you're gonna be using your terminal a lot. For instance, one of the code editors, the code editor we would be using for this course is Visual Studio Code, because I highly recommend this. It's beautiful, it's awesome, it's got lots of functionality on it. It's got lots of features, and it's just amazing. It's very good. So we're gonna be using this code editor and doing a whole lot of things here. So why I have this two guys here, this is your default CMD, and this is the bash terminal. Now you could actually integrate any of these. We have different kinds of them. We have a whole lot more out there, beautiful, experiences, and beautiful layouts and all of that. Pretty much the same thing, but from just different ones. Okay, so you can integrate either of them onto your VSC. All right, for right now I have this bash integrated. All right, sometimes you might see something else here. All right, so this is what I have right here. You could actually have your PowerShell there. Some of you could have something else there, but something actually remarkable about this is that why I wouldn't want to use the default CMD here, which actually should be put in from the PowerShell, which should be shown here if you haven't changed to use something else, or you might be using something else there. All right, it's because over here you are limited. There are certain things you wouldn't be able to do, right? So for instance, you wouldn't be able to use this. If I wanted to use this, let's say I just want to create a simple app file that is not recognized. Some command lines aren't recognized on your default, but I can be able to do that here. All right, so I can create a simple app.js file, and that gets created immediately. And if I do a simple ls right now, and I can go up, and you are gonna see our app.js file. So that's it over here. So I integrated it here because I wouldn't really want to be having two separate environments. Having my code editor on one side and having my terminal on one side. I actually do like the experience of having everything on one place. So I'm working with my editor here, working with different languages and doing stuff here, and then I have my terminal over here, or rather over here. You see that, and all you just gotta do, come here, select the default shell, and integrate whatever you want to integrate. All right, so this is actually limited to certain things, but over here I can actually do a lot more things. Okay, so that's for that part. So going further, you need to learn Git and you need to learn GitHub. Okay, so you're gonna be learning things like how to configure your Git and all of that, creating repositories, adding and removing files from the staging area. Why you even need a staging area, because you'll be able, now you super need this because it's a priority. If you're gonna be doing freelancing, if you're gonna be working with a company, either full-time, part-time, whatever you're gonna be doing, you are in one way or the other, you're gonna be collaborating with other developers and doing stuff. You see that? So that's why you pretty much need Git. All right, why do you even need a staging area? You've got to track different organized commits and all of that, right? You learn about Git commits, how to run edits, how to do commits, and check out your commit history, and how to undo things, the check out, the revert, the reset, branching. You learn things like that, switching between different branches and deleting branches. You know how to import things, how to check out and move to a different branch. You'll know how to create a branch, how to merge branches and deal with conflicts. You get into getting everything, getting all your code on GitHub. All right, so that's pretty much about, you'll need that. All right, because you're gonna be collaborating with people and you didn't know you need this. Like, I can't really stress this enough, it's not really an option, so you need to learn that. So that's for that part. And also going from there right now, because you are gonna be working with a lot of developers, and you guys would almost all the time be using Git and GitHub, if not some other service, but it's one of the most popular ones out there. All right, so you learn how to create repos from locals and creating from the GitHub cloud as well, making changes and pushing to GitHub, adding a remote repo, collaborating on GitHub, pushing to a specific branch, and pulling things and working in different branches, and making pull requests to merge all the branches to the master branch. Learn all of this stuff and reviewing pull requests, forking and contributing. These are terms, that you get to see on it. So you learn about all of these things, and you get to working on certain projects that may require you going through mobile first responsibility, and you would actually do that as well. So we talked about a lot of things right now. I could go through all of them again, but I just want to move on. So having learned CSS and come this far, you would also need to learn CSS Grid and Flexbox. All right, so you need that. You get to create it now. It doesn't really matter, which is, a two-dimensional layout or which is just, one-dimensional. Whatever the case is, I would say learn the two. Some people may just say, hey, just learn CSS Grid or just learn Flexbox, but I would actually say learn both of them, because you would be able to interchangeably, mix things and get, even more flexible and render projects and render your ideas faster, right? All right, because you really need that. You really need to learn CSS Grid and Flexbox. It's just amazing. And even part of your stylings and all of that, you would actually learn how to create your personalized utilities and actually have your own personalized reusable components. So to say, using the word components here on CSS, not like we're talking about React or something like that, but when we get into it, you'd get to see how all the frameworks actually work and how they created all of their own codes and how they got things working. You would be able to do that for you and get some personalized customizations and things working on your own end. So that's for that part. Okay, so with that being said, now you need something else. You need to learn SAS. All right, you need to learn SAS. Now this is super amazing, SAS, and that SAS gives you an upper hand. You would be, now a lot of people don't know that, a lot of people don't learn that, a lot of people learn that and a lot of people don't learn that. I don't want to say a few, a lot, but if you learn that, you're gonna be better than someone who doesn't know that. All right, because with SAS you're gonna be able to do a lot of things. You're gonna be able to, it's like superpowers, in your CSS files and writing super CSS, codes and being able to do a lot of things. It's just like having JavaScript in your CSS. You're gonna go through a lot of things. We'll get to explaining to you what SAS is, the different extensions, like the .sass and versus the .scss, which to go with. You understand variables, so it's only using, when you use SAS, that you'd be able to use variables, in a very fun way and super interesting, and you learn things about nesting, inheritance, conditionals, like you could actually write functions. That's what I'm talking about, using JavaScript in your CSS. It's super awesome. That's what I did talk about, the superpowers, right? Yeah, quite interesting. So you learn nesting modules, mixins and functions, inheritance, operators, conditionals, and you will run through a couple of projects to get all of these stuff really into your system, so you pretty much can wake up and just get into using them anytime. That's something that's really amazing. That's why I really love this program, because it's gonna put a whole lot of things into you. And it's not just learning, something, but knowing how to use them. Yeah, when you learn, you know how to use, right? But actually building things and seeing things work for you and getting onto, the platform, working on different projects, collaborating with other people, because that's what we want to do. You'd get to a certain stage, you're going to be hooked up with someone else to work on a project. And a lot of people will be hooked up with someone else. It might be in pairs, pairs of twos, stuff like that. or maybe more than that. But at the end of the day, we'll look at it together. Now, this is not even coming close to the end of the course yet, but you're doing a whole lot. All right. So you're gonna go from there, right? And we're also gonna check out some material UI integration. At this point in time, you could actually decide to go with to learn, a CSS framework, because you really are gonna be doing a whole lot of stuff. So we really want to get you, into this stuff. And at this point in time, right now, I know you've been waiting for this. At this point in time, you're gonna learn how to use JavaScript. You're gonna learn JavaScript. JavaScript is a programming language for the web, and you're gonna be able to do a lot of things. Get it introduced to you. Get you started with it. Learn variables. Learn data types. Learn functions, conditionals. Stuff like that. If else. Operators and operands, all of that. Learn arrays, objects, this keyword. Learn different kinds of loops. And all of that. So. But not just that, because with JavaScript you can do a whole lot. All right, you can do a whole lot. But we're gonna also introduce the ES6. All right, because you gotta learn the modern ways of doing different things. All right, because you learn things like arrow functions. All right, you're gonna be doing a whole lot. So we've talked about a lot of things right now. So you're gonna learn how to use ES6. All right, and also we are gonna also introduce Firebase. You learn cloud functions, authentication, real-time, how to use a real-time database, Firebase, and learn about the cloud firestore. So it's actually awesome. Firebase is a real-time database, and with that you can do a lot. So we've got lots of projects on this, for you guys out there, and you're gonna be able to deploy your apps, on Firebase and get things working. Alright, so that's what this course is really about, and you've seen that you have a lot of things to learn. Okay, so we're gonna go through all of that, the projects and the builds, it just excites me. What you guys are gonna be learning, the collaboration, the community, and all of that put together, the live coaching calls we're gonna be having, and all of this wonderful stuff. It's just super interesting. So you just gotta have the readiness and get started right now. Check out the links, wherever it is, go there and get started already. Okay, you're gonna see more information about whatever you're seeking for, but this was just to run you through the technologies involved, the outline and all of that, so you get to understand what really is involved here. So after you're done with this, right, we have some kind of advanced front end course again. All right, and with this now, when I started this video, I actually told you we're gonna be working with time, so we don't want to get your hopes up, or probably I didn't tell you that, but we are gonna be working with time. We don't want to get your hopes up telling you, hey, you're gonna get up to learning React and learning how to use state hooks, props, React context API, Redux, and all of those things, like the React JS ecosystem in general, as part of this. Now we've kept that aside, because once you get to this stage of writing ES6, like once you are done with this course, everything I've talked to you about, once you were done with this, with all of that, it would be good for you to pick a front-end framework or library, all right, because it's going to help you a lot. All right, so we're going to be going with React. So that is the other course I'm talking about, the advanced front-end web development course. So you need to go with this course right now. Once you're done with this, then we are going to go to the advanced course, where we're going to be using React. You're going to be learning things about React components, and all of that. So that's pretty much about that. Okay, so we don't want to get everything clustered just onto one program, or into one program rather. We want it to be separate, so you have all of this stuff and you are fully ready, and then you can go on to using React JS, and this is super interesting. So that's pretty much about that. So check out the description, check out whatever you need to check out. I think if you are on the Slack workspace, where to find information, go to the channel and get started right now.